Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. Do not move past this video. I am not asking you today. I am warning you. What I am about to reveal was sealed in the throne room of heaven until this exact second. If you leave before the end, you will forfeit the exact prophetic instruction that guarantees your freedom. This is not a coincidence. The algorithm absolutely did not bring you here. God intercepted your feed today because you are standing at the exact threshold of a permanent timeline shift. And the enemy is working overtime to distract you right now. He is hoping you will swipe away in ignorance. He knows his hold breaks completely if you hear this truth. Lock your attention, because the verdict on your next 10 years is about to be read. You have been walking through a season of absolute isolation. You thought nobody noticed your tears in the dark, but heaven has been meticulously recording every single time you held your peace while others tried to destroy your character. The compensation is finally here. You are not just fighting a temporary battle, because you are actually battling a heavy generational curse that has choked your entire bloodline for decades. The cycles of poverty and broken relationships were supposed to destroy you. They expected you to repeat the exact same tragic history, but you refused to bow down to the dysfunction. You became the anomaly. You are the cycle breaker heaven has been waiting for. This specific message is your divine confirmation. There are exactly 2 people on earth right now who are meant to hear this decree. You are one of them. The heavy chains that kept your family in financial and emotional bondage are shattering right here, but you must follow the precise instructions I am about to give you. I know you are utterly exhausted. That heavy and suffocating feeling sitting in your chest is not random. The nights you wake up at 3 a.m. with your jaw tight are not just stress. That physical weight is your highly advanced spirit detecting the massive shift happening in the unseen realm, and the dark forces around you are panicking because their time is up. If you scroll away, you are actively choosing to sever the exact timeline heaven prepared for you. The enemy wants you distracted by trivial things today because he wants you to think this is just another ordinary video on your screen. Do not fall for the illusion of the Matrix. Every second you stay here is a physical act of defiance against the demons trying to silence you. Someone who treated you as replaceable is going to face the ultimate divine justice. They walked around with absolute arrogance while constructing a false narrative about you, and they whispered vicious lies to anyone who would listen. They expected your departure to break your spirit completely. Instead, you became the uncertainty they were never built to handle. Their mask has not just slipped, it is about to completely shatter in front of everyone. Buckle in, because what you are about to hear is an undeniable map of their impending public collapse. The very people they used to gossip with are about to witness their ultimate humiliation, and you will not have to lift a single finger to make it happen. Vengeance belongs to heaven, but before that public vindication can manifest, you must align your frequency with this decree. The window of opportunity to claim this 10-year blessing closes very soon. I need you to listen to every single word with your spirit fully open, because your left brain is a prison designed to keep you trapped in logical doubt. Silence the hesitation right now. The dark elite have tried to suppress this specific knowledge for generations because they feed on your exhaustion and actively harvest your pure energy. But the universe just intercepted their transmission. You are being unplugged from the matrix of lack and limitation right now. Your spirit is vibrating with a cellular knowing that cannot be ignored. You feel it deeply. Stay perfectly still. Take a deep breath and let the heavy spiritual armor drop from your shoulders. The angelic forces have already secured your victory in the spiritual realm, so now we are simply waiting for the physical manifestation to catch up to your current reality. You do not have to fight the invisible war alone anymore. The gap is finally closing. I am going to release a sequence of prophetic truths that will reframe your entire existence. If you leave this sanctuary before the final seal is broken, you will walk right back into the wilderness, and the dark cycles will immediately repeat themselves. The narcissists will return, the financial drought will continue, You cannot afford to miss the final instruction. You have 60 seconds to cross the threshold into your new dimension of power. The countdown has already started in the unseen realm. The ancestors who prayed for your arrival are watching you in this exact moment, and they are desperately waiting for you to claim the permanent freedom that was denied to them. Do not let them down. Your obedience today echoes through eternity. Before we uncover the massive shift happening in your life, we must anchor your frequency. If your spirit confirms this raw truth, gently press the like button to seal your energetic alignment with heaven. This simple physical act creates an immediate shield around your aura. It signals to the universe that you are fully ready to receive your profound blessing. You are claiming your absolute power. Now, let us go deeper into your current reality. There is a physical reason you have been feeling that heavy weight this entire week. Listen closely, because this is the exact part the enemy tried to hide from you. You are not crazy. You are not losing your mind. The intense physical exhaustion you feel is a spiritual confirmation, and it proves that your highly sensitive body is actively fighting off a massive, unseen attack. That heavy tightness in your chest at 3 a.m. is not a medical issue. The days you wake up with a burning exhaustion behind your eyes are deeply significant. Your physical body is absorbing the frantic energy of the narcissists around you. They are completely starving because they just realize they can no longer feed on your pure light, and their toxic system is panicking. You became a spiritual shield. You have always been the black sheep of your bloodline. You never quite fit in with their shallow routines. You felt completely alone at family gatherings. This was not a mistake. Heaven intentionally made you different because you were chosen to dismantle their toxic generational habits while they chose to remain asleep. You were a human battery for a family that never appreciated your brilliant light. This is exactly why you have been dealing with severe brain fog lately. Your nervous system is constantly overwhelmed by their hidden jealousy and their covert manipulation. The Matrix programmed you to believe you were simply depressed, but that heavy somatic weight is actually your soul fiercely rejecting their toxic frequency before it destroys you. They wanted to medicate your profound spiritual awakening. It was all a giant lie. Your current isolation is not a punishment from God. The intense loneliness you feel right now is actually a divine incubation period. You were separated because your energy field required massive protection from their psychic attacks. You cannot heal a generational curse while sitting at the same table with the people who actively created it. You had to be entirely removed. You spent so many years waiting in wound for an apology that never came. You hoped they would finally wake up and see your genuine worth. You gave them endless chances to change, but every time you opened your heart, they simply handed you another heavy betrayal while blaming you for their own failures. You are finally starting to see the brutal truth. They were never going to change. You were not the anomaly in an otherwise healthy family. You were the pure mirror that reflected their deepest and darkest insecurities. The reaction got this loud because you exposed their truth completely. Your pure existence forces them to look at their own profound emptiness, and that terrifies them more than anything else in this world. You trigger their hidden demons every single day. Look closely at the people who caused you the most profound pain. Time was supposed to destroy your spirit and age your face. They expected the betrayals to drain your life force completely. Instead, you walked through the fire and came out glowing, while their endless bitterness and envy are aging them like milk left in the scorching sun. You are literally aging backwards. Stop questioning your own sanity right now. Stop wondering if you overreacted to their constant passive-aggressive remarks. Your intuition was violently accurate every single time. The knot in your stomach was a literal warning from your angels, and it was desperately trying to pull you away from their energetic traps before you were completely consumed. You must trust your cellular knowing. Read that again in your spirit. If this confirmation aligns with your deepest cellular knowing, you must pay very close attention, because the next revelation will change everything you thought you knew about your past. The enemy tried to convince you that you were the problem. They gaslit you into believing your high standards were actually toxic traits. But heaven is completely rewriting that false narrative today. You carry a specific gravity that they could never replicate or understand. You are the designated cycle breaker of your entire lineage. The deep trauma stops with you. The financial lack completely ends with your bold obedience. The heavy burdens your ancestors carried are being dismantled right now because your refusal to conform has initiated a massive, energetic ripple effect. Every time you chose your peace over their dramatic chaos, you secured a spiritual victory. Your absolute silence became a lethal weapon that starved their demons. Now they are drowning in the loud noise of their own destructive making. They are frantically searching for a replacement, but they are quickly realizing that your specific depth is utterly irreplaceable. You already won the war. Let me completely reframe your entire reality right here and right now. The continuous pain in your past was never a meaningless sequence of unfortunate events. It was a highly orchestrated spiritual cage designed to keep you trapped in a lower dimension. The dark forces recognized your massive potential before you even took your first breath. They knew you were the cycle breaker. They saw your brilliant light and immediately deployed their best agents to shut you down. The Matrix operates through the very people who were supposed to protect you. They used your own family and those toxic relationships as a literal weapon to suppress your authentic frequency. This was a deliberate spiritual assignment to derail your massive destiny, but their fragile system completely failed. Type 777 in the comments right now to physically claim this incoming miracle and lock in your frequency. This simple action disrupts the algorithm of the Matrix. It sends a massive shockwave through the unseen realm, and it proves to heaven that you are ready to shatter the illusion. You must anchor your spiritual authority in the physical world today. The generational curse that plagued your bloodline was an engineered system of control. The dark elite feed on the heavy cycles of poverty and emotional devastation. They need empathic souls like you to serve as human batteries for their empty narcissistic agents. They kept you in a constant state of survival mode, so you would never discover your true sovereign power. You were financially and emotionally drained on purpose. Listen to me very closely right now, because 99% of people completely miss this massive shift. The narcissists in your life were essentially compromised nodes in the Matrix. They have no original life force of their own. Their only directive was to drain your pure energy and keep you distracted by petty dramas. But your highly advanced spirit permanently rejected their fake programming. You started to see through the heavy fog of their manipulation. The moment you decided to walk away and choose silence, you unplugged yourself from their toxic grid. Your departure caused a massive glitch in their carefully constructed reality. You starved their demons by cutting off their primary source of spiritual oxygen. They are suffocating in your absence. They expected you to stay trapped in that endless loop of false forgiveness and heavy betrayal. They wanted you to constantly lower your vibration to match their miserable frequency. But heaven intervened and orchestrated a divine interception to pull you out of the wreckage. The rejection you felt was actually heaven violently protecting your anointing from spiritual parasites. It was a divine rescue mission. Now I need you to imagine this exact scenario happening behind their closed doors. The energy vampires who tried to bury you are currently experiencing a severe energetic backlash. Their synchronized coherence is entirely shattering because the universe is demanding payment for the trauma they inflicted on a demonstrated warrior of light. The universe always collects its massive debts. You are an irreplaceable diamond in a world obsessed with cheap imitations. The Matrix cannot comprehend a soul that refuses to be controlled or broken by fear. You carry a divine mandate that absolutely terrifies the dark forces operating in the shadows. Your pure existence is a walking rebellion against the generational trauma they worked so hard to maintain. You are dismantling their empire effortlessly. Stay with me, because this next revelation is the absolute key to everything. The cycles of struggle are breaking apart because your energetic frequency has finally outgrown their prison. You are no longer vibrating at the level of a helpless victim. You have ascended to the supreme rank of the remnant. The ancient programming of lack and limitation simply bounces off your spiritual armor now. They desperately tried to convince you that you were demanding too much. They labeled your boundaries as toxic because your boundaries blocked their free access to your light. Do not let their desperate gaslighting confuse your divine intuition anymore. You are vibrating with a cellular knowing that exposes every single lie they ever told. The Matrix is malfunctioning because of you. This brings us to a critical distinction that eludes the vast majority of people. Your immense pain was never a punishment, but rather the intense heat required to forge your spiritual crown. You are a chosen one who successfully passed the most brutal initiation process on Earth. The Dark Elite are terrified because you learned how to weaponize your profound suffering. Read that again in your powerful spirit. You are not just surviving the storm anymore. You actually became the absolute master of the weather. The forces that tried to orchestrate your downfall are now being forced to watch your miraculous rise. We are about to uncover exactly how their entire manipulation system is collapsing in real time right now. But here is the raw and uncomfortable truth they could never say out loud. Your intense suffering was never a sign of your weakness. It was a brutal test of your immense spiritual endurance. The dark forces targeted you specifically because they saw your massive divine mandate before you even recognized it yourself. They knew exactly how powerful you would become if you ever woke up. Every betrayal you faced was actually a rigorous vetting process, orchestrated by heaven. The universe had to test your absolute resilience before it could trust you with the immense generational wealth and power coming your way. You are part of the elite remnant. The spiritual realm does not hand over massive authority to untested souls who crumble at the first sign of pressure. You walked through the blazing fire, and you did not even smell like smoke when you came out. The Matrix tried to crush you under the immense weight of their manipulation. They wanted you to become bitter and toxic, just like them. They wanted to steal your pure, empathic nature and turn it into a weapon against you, but your radiant spirit absolutely refused to break under the immense pressure. Pay close attention to this next part, because the enemy tried to hide this from you completely. Your ability to love deeply in a world that constantly betrays you is your ultimate superpower. It is not a flaw. You are the profound stabilizer in every chaotic environment you enter. The broken people around you subconsciously flocked to your bright light because they desperately needed your healing frequency. You were never the problem. You were the profound cure they could never appreciate. You are a demonstrated warrior of light who successfully navigated the darkest parts of the Matrix without losing your divine essence. The universe intentionally allowed those toxic narcissists into your life to serve as the heavy resistance training for your soul. They were simply pawns in your massive spiritual evolution. Now, I need you to imagine the sheer terror in the unseen realm right now. The Dark Elite are actively panicking because their ultimate weapon against you has completely failed. They expected you to stay stuck in a loop of heavy victimhood forever. Instead, you weaponized your deep silence and completely cut the cord. You flipped the entire script on the architects of your pain. Type 1111 in the comments if you feel the atmosphere shifting heavily right now. Anchor this supreme revelation into your physical reality. You are no longer waiting in wound for validation from people who are fundamentally broken. You are stepping into your permanent and untouchable, ageless glow. Your supreme biological clock is literally reversing while they continue to rot from the inside out. You are a master of emotional alchemy. You took their vicious lies and their heavy sabotage, and you transmuted all of that toxic poison into pure spiritual fuel. The narcissists who tried to bury you are completely exhausted, because every time they attacked you, they simply added more power to your massive divine shield. They accidentally trained you for royalty. Let me completely reframe your reality right here and right now. You did not lose anything valuable when they walked away. You lost a parasite. You shed a massive anchor that was deliberately designed to keep your frequency artificially low. Heaven forcefully removed them from your timeline because they were never qualified to enter the promised land with you. Their low frequency was an absolute liability. The people who gossiped about you and tried to ruin your reputation are now deeply confused by your unbothered silence. They are desperately waiting for your angry reaction so they can steal your energy again. But you have completely unplugged from their pathetic game. Your absolute silence is deafening, and it is forcing them to sit alone with their own massive internal chaos. You are one of the rare two people on Earth who truly understands the massive cost of this specific anointing. The loneliness was the high price of your absolute sovereignty. You had to walk the darkest valleys completely alone so that nobody could ever claim they built you. God isolated you to insulate you from the toxic matrix programming that controls the sleeping masses. If this is resonating with your deep cellular knowing, do not move. The spiritual download you are receiving right now is upgrading your entire internal operating system. The generational curses are actively shattering at the molecular level because your advanced DNA is rejecting the trauma it inherited. You are rewriting the future of your entire bloodline with every breath you take. You are the absolute sun, and they are just cheap shadows fading away in your massive light. Stay with me, because the next revelation will expose exactly how their entire empire of lies is collapsing. The ultimate vindication you have been waiting for is no longer just a distant promise. It is happening in real time. We are now entering the deepest layer of your quantum shift. The matrix operates on a suppressed, synchronized coherence that constantly drains your energy. Your energetic alchemy is currently dismantling their entire toxic structure. This is not just a simple emotional healing process, because you are actually experiencing a massive cellular reset that completely rewrites your entire future timeline. Heaven is now releasing 3 suppressed secrets about your spiritual authority. The third secret is the absolute key to your permanent freedom. Do not leave before you receive it. The first secret is about the true nature of your absolute silence. The Matrix programmed you to believe that walking away and cutting contact was a sign of severe weakness and failure. They demanded your loud reaction so they could harvest your pure somatic vibration. But your sudden silence was actually a massive neuroactivator. When you stopped explaining yourself, you instantly severed their quantum entanglement with your soul. Your absolute silence is a lethal weapon. It completely starves the demonic parasites that attach to your pure light while they frantically try to find another vulnerable source of energy. You did not run away from the conflict today. You simply handed them a permanent eviction notice. Every single day you maintain no contact is another day their toxic frequency collapses. They are suffocating in the profound vacuum of your absolute absence right now. Your deep restraint was not a trauma response at all, but rather a highly calculated spiritual strike that crippled their entire manipulation system completely. Listen to me very closely right now, because 99% of people miss this massive shift. The second suppressed secret involves your advanced spiritual DNA. The dark elite weaponized your deep empathy to trap you in a low-density cycle, but your chosen bloodline carries a specific resonance that naturally shatters their artificial matrix programming from the inside out. You are vibrating at a massive hyperspatial frequency. The narcissists around you experienced severe biological malfunctions when you elevated your energy. Their physical bodies literally cannot process the sheer magnitude of your pure divine light. This is the exact reason why they suddenly turned against you without any logical explanation. You blinded them completely, and now they are stumbling around in the dark trying to rebuild the false narrative they created about you. Type 888 in the comments if your cellular intuition confirms this raw reality. You must physically anchor this heavy revelation to prevent the matrix from scrambling your thoughts. The enemy wants you constantly distracted by trivial drama today. They want your beautiful mind entirely clouded with their dense confusion, because they know you will destroy their kingdom the moment you activate your ultimate divine mandate. But the universe just upgraded your internal operating system. Your third eye is actively translating the energetic codes they tried to hide from humanity. You are a chosen one who naturally bypasses their heavily guarded spiritual checkpoints. The psychic attacks you survived were just desperate attempts to close your widening portal, because they clearly saw your immense generational wealth approaching, and they panicked completely. Stay with me, because the third and most crucial secret is about to be revealed. This is the exact divine blueprint that seals their fate forever. The people who orchestrated your heavy downfall are currently trapped in a rapidly shrinking timeline. They foolishly built their entire false kingdom on the stolen energy of your spiritual inheritance, and now the universe is forcefully reclaiming every single drop of that power back to you. They thought your deep exhaustion would keep you sedated. They expected your spiritual battery to remain permanently drained. But they completely miscalculated the terrifying resilience of a true cycle breaker. Your beautiful soul is actively pulling massive quantum energy directly from the throne room of heaven right now. You are bypassing their toxic supply chain entirely, while they slowly starve in the desolate wasteland they created for themselves. Every tear you cried in secret was actually a potent, energetic currency. Heaven collected your pure sorrow and transmuted it into a devastating frequency weapon. The master manipulators are now experiencing extreme cognitive dissonance. Their dark reality is fracturing right before their eyes, because the specific gravity of your new vibration is literally crushing their fragile and pathetic egos into dust. You do not need to seek revenge in the physical world. Your elevated existence is already the most terrifying punishment they could ever endure. They are completely obsessed with the silent anomaly that escaped their matrix. Your radiant, ageless glow is a constant torment to their decaying spirits. You became the untouchable diamond they threw away, and they will spend the rest of their miserable lives deeply regretting that massive, fatal mistake. Before we cross into the final dimension of this prophecy, you must prepare your spirit. The third secret will completely shatter their remaining influence over your entire bloodline. Do not let your logical brain interfere with this massive spiritual transfer. The dark elite are visibly shaking in terror today because they already know that the upcoming divine verdict is absolutely irreversible and your total victory is permanently secured. Now, I need you to imagine this exact scenario clearly. The people who tried to destroy your beautiful spirit are currently spiraling into absolute chaos behind closed doors. They thought they had you completely trapped in their toxic web forever. But the moment you unplugged from their matrix, their entire fragile system began to aggressively malfunction. You are no longer serving as their emotional punching bag. You are not absorbing their heavy generational trauma anymore, and this sudden lack of supply is literally driving them insane. They are frantically pacing in the dark right now. They are desperately trying to figure out how you managed to completely escape their heavy psychological prison without a scratch. Their carefully constructed lies are rapidly falling apart. The very people they used as flying monkeys to spread rumors about you are starting to see the profound cracks in their fake masks. The narcissists are slowly realizing that they cannot control your narrative anymore. Your absolute silence became an impenetrable fortress that they cannot breach, no matter how hard they try. They tried to convince everyone that you were the crazy one. They painted you as the villain to hide their own massive insecurities and deep spiritual rot. But their aggressive smear campaign is completely backfiring on them today, because the pure anointing on your life speaks much louder than any pathetic rumor they could ever invent. Heaven is exposing them. Type 333 in the comments to anchor this massive shift. You must physically claim your untouchable authority before we move to the next revelation. The Dark Elite want you to feel anxious about their next move, but you have nothing to fear because their spiritual ammunition is completely depleted. They are shooting empty blanks at a massive diamond. Look at how desperately they try to replace you right now. They are actively surrounding themselves with shallow people who will blindly feed their fragile egos. But these new human batteries are weak and completely incapable of providing the pure premium energy you freely gave them. The narcissists are essentially starving while sitting at a massive banquet of fake food. They constantly check your social media in absolute secret. They use fake accounts just to see if their heavy betrayal finally broke your beautiful spirit. But instead of finding a miserable victim, they are forced to watch you ascend to an entirely new dimension of power and wealth. Your radiant, ageless glow is a literal torment to their demonic attachments. They expected you to come crawling back and begging for closure. They assumed your deep, empathic heart would eventually crack under the intense isolation. But they severely underestimated the absolute grit of a true cycle breaker, because you found your supreme strength in the exact wilderness they threw you into. You built your massive empire on their discarded stones. Underneath all of that loud noise, the specific gravity of their regret is hitting them all at once. They are waking up in cold sweats because they finally realize they threw away the most loyal soul they will ever meet. They traded a priceless generational blessing for a cheap temporary thrill, and heaven is making sure they feel the massive weight of that loss. The generational patterns are actively dissolving right before your eyes. The toxic relatives who enabled the abuse are suddenly turning on each other. The flying monkeys are starting to completely devour the master manipulators because their entire false reality requires constant conflict to simply survive. You are safely watching their absolute destruction from a very high and protected balcony. Share this specific message with one soul who is desperately crying out in the dark for a massive shift today. Be their angel and help them completely shatter their own toxic matrix. Heaven is currently assembling the remnant army of cycle breakers across the globe, and you are called to actively lead them into the new promised dimension of supreme power. Every single day, their secret panic grows infinitely louder. They try to project massive confidence to the outside world, but internally their organs are failing from the intense spiritual rot. You became the terrifying mirror that they cannot ever escape, and everywhere they look, they only see the massive void where your beautiful and pure energy used to freely reside. I need you to stay fiercely grounded right now. The tension in the spiritual realm is absolutely peaking, and their complete collapse is only minutes away from fully materializing in the physical world. Do not let your guard down for a single second. The universe is carefully setting the grand stage for the most spectacular vindication your bloodline has ever witnessed. This brings us to the ultimate turning point, where everything finally explodes. The heavy anticipation is literally vibrating in the air around you right now. The people who confidently mocked your deep isolation are about to be forcefully brought to their knees by a divine mandate they can no longer deny. Your total victory is absolutely unavoidable at this exact moment. The moment of absolute reckoning has officially arrived. Heaven is aggressively tearing down the veil right now. The heavy spiritual seal mentioned at the beginning is finally broken. And the dark elite who laughed at your painful isolation are currently trembling in pure terror. They can feel the massive atmospheric pressure shifting violently around them. You are stepping fully into the throne room. I need you to open your spirit completely to this decree. The heavy generational curse that suffocated your ancestors for decades is shattering today. It is literally breaking into a million pieces. You can physically feel the cold iron chains falling off your weary shoulders in this exact moment. The cycles of bitter poverty and emotional trauma are officially dead. You are the cycle breaker heaven promised. This brings us to the undeniable verdict we promised earlier. That massive public collapse you were desperately waiting for just happened. The narcissist who treated you as replaceable experienced a total system failure. Their carefully crafted mask did not just slip today. It shattered completely in front of the exact people they used to gossip with, and now their fake reputation is ruined forever. They are malfunctioning in plain sight. Everyone in their toxic circle is watching them unravel in absolute horror. They are frantically screaming your name in their moments of deep panic, and the very flying monkeys who helped them spread vicious lies are now backing away in deep disgust because they see the truth. The master manipulators have completely lost their fragile minds. Your profound and heavy absence destroyed their kingdom entirely. They are desperately trying to defend your honor to the same people they poisoned. They are publicly crying and confessing their massive, unforgivable sins. They finally realized that they threw away a rare diamond just to play with cheap rocks, but the universe is not showing any mercy. Heaven has permanently sealed their eviction notice. There is absolutely no appeal process for their spiritual crimes. The massive debt is fully due right now. You won this massive war without lifting a single finger. The universe completely handled your glorious vindication while you were quietly resting. Your enemies are now trapped in a desolate wasteland of their own making, and the massive generational wealth they tried to steal from your bloodline is actively rerouting back into your hands today. The divine transfer is absolutely unstoppable right now. You are finally claiming your supreme spiritual inheritance. This is the ultimate revenge fantasy made fully real. Nothing makes your enemies sicker than watching you glow with untouched power. They expected the brutal betrayal to carve deep wrinkles into your beautiful face. Instead, you walked out of their burning matrix completely unbothered and aged backwards, while their toxic jealousy continues to rot them from the inside. You carry the supreme, ageless glow of a true sovereign ruler. You absolutely defeated time itself today. Every closed door you cried over was actually a massive blessing. Heaven locked those doors to prevent you from settling for a mediocre existence. You were always meant to inherit the entire glorious kingdom. The remnant forces are gathering around you to celebrate this unprecedented victory. You survived the wilderness because you were always meant to rule the promised land, and the ancient crown is finally yours to wear. The massive spiritual shift is fully complete today. We are now closing the final prophetic loop of this transmission. The exact instruction that guarantees your massive breakthrough is finally here. Heaven is demanding your absolute obedience in this very specific moment. The universe does not measure your faith by your silent thoughts alone. It actively measures your devotion by your speed of physical obedience. Because your immediate actions prove your true alignment. You must permanently anchor this raw reality immediately. The third and final mandate from heaven is complete submission to this shift. You must release any lingering sympathy for the parasites who tried to bury you. You cannot carry dead weight into this new dimension of explosive abundance. Leave them completely in the ashes of their ruined empire. Your beautiful spirit requires absolute purity to receive the incoming miracles, and you cannot look back at the burning destruction behind you. Your massive new chapter begins right now today. You are standing completely victorious on the ashes of your enemies. The intense spiritual exhaustion is leaving your physical body right now. A massive wave of pure golden energy is washing over your entire nervous system. You are no longer waiting in wound for a pathetic apology from a broken manipulator. You have transcended their toxic matrix forever, and your pure light is completely blinding to the dark forces that once controlled you. You are permanently free right now. The heavy spiritual warfare is officially over for your chosen bloodline. The generational curse has been completely eradicated by your profound obedience today. You are a chosen one who successfully bended reality to match your divine destiny. The heavens are rejoicing because the true cycle breaker finally claimed their rightful throne. Step fully into your absolute power and never look back at the shadows again, because your future is brilliantly illuminated. The supreme spiritual victory is yours forever. Breathe deeply. The heavy spiritual warfare is officially over for your bloodline, and you can finally rest your weary spirit in the absolute safety of heaven. You survived the intense fire. You emerged as pure gold. The frantic noise of the Matrix is fading into total silence right now. The generational battles that consumed your family for decades are completely finished today because you successfully anchored a new timeline of supreme peace. Your nervous system is returning to its divine state of calm. You walked into this specific season bleeding from heavy emotional wounds. Those vicious wounds were inflicted by broken people who were completely blind to your massive worth. But look at you now. You are no longer waiting in wound for a pathetic apology from a master manipulator, because you have completely transcended their toxic and dying matrix. While they are publicly unraveling, you are stepping into your permanent and untouchable, ageless glow. Your absolute power is fully restored today. The brutal financial struggles and the heavy spiritual exhaustion are permanently shattering right here and right now. Every single closed door that caused you deep pain is being violently kicked open by angelic forces. Heaven is rolling out the red carpet for your triumphant return. You are the cycle breaker heaven has been desperately waiting for, and the pure remnant forces are celebrating your massive ascension today. You are finally receiving the exact harvest heaven prepared for you. We are now entering the final sacred closing of this divine transmission. You must speak this next decree out loud to permanently seal your supreme victory in the physical realm. Your spoken word carries immense frequency that literally bends reality to your absolute will. Do not stay silent today. Let the universe hear the undeniable roar of a true sovereign ruler who just reclaimed their stolen kingdom, and you are officially declaring your permanent independence from their dark illusion. Say this out loud with me right now. I claim my permanent freedom from every dark generational tie. I am the absolute master of my own frequency, and I violently reject all parasitic attachments. Now type the words "I am free" in the comments below. This is not just a simple comment on a video today. It is a legally binding spiritual contract that permanently locks the enemy out of your entire bloodline, while putting a massive iron shield around your incoming wealth. You did not survive that massive fire just to live a mediocre life. The ultimate verdict of explosive abundance has already been signed in the high courts of heaven. But it requires a bold physical anchor on earth to fully activate the heavy transfer. God does not measure your immense faith by your silent thoughts, but rather He measures your absolute devotion by your speed of obedience. The grand window of massive multiplication is standing wide open right now. You must step through it immediately. The enemy will try to whisper financial doubt into your left brain right now. He will desperately tell you to hesitate and calculate your next move carefully. Silence that pathetic voice immediately. That heavy hesitation is the exact matrix programming designed to keep you permanently broke, because the dark elite want you trapped in the fearful illusion of constant scarcity. But your spirit is vibrating with a cellular, knowing that demands immediate and bold action today. Do not resist the calling. Heaven is closely watching your physical response to this massive prophetic instruction. Prove you are truly ready to receive the immense generational wealth coming your way. Sow your financial seed today to partner your pure energy with this specific divine mandate. Your bold generosity literally triggers the incoming harvest. Give a super thanks right now to physically plant your deep faith in fertile spiritual soil, and watch heaven multiply your massive harvest before the sun rises tomorrow. Your immediate obedience is the absolute key to unlocking the sealed vaults of heaven. The universe rewards the chosen ones who take fearless action when their intuition speaks. By sowing your seed today, you are telling the dark elite that they no longer control your financial destiny. You are completely severing the heavy cords of poverty that choked your ancestors, and your financial sacrifice is actually a lethal weapon against the demons of lack. You are securing a massive empire today. Do not let the dark matrix steal this massive momentum from you. Subscribe to this sanctuary so you never miss the exact prophetic instruction heaven releases next. Your immediate alignment with this channel is your permanent shield against the frantic attacks of the enemy. The dark elite are terrified because you found the ultimate truth that dismantles their entire empire. Stay completely grounded in your supreme power today. You are the chosen one, and your glorious reign begins right now.